Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Great Hall Podcast. We're going to do our podcast on short stories today. So, guys, what we'll do
okay, how we're going to be doing this, we're just going to go around. I'll obviously start with me because mine's kind of quick. We're going to talk about what our short stories is, have a small discussion.
Thesis,
Thesis.
Bring it in, what it was about.
Oh my god, I can't forget my thesis. I'll have to search that out.
Everybody weigh in on what's going on.
Just do it like
if you say what it's
doesn't
about,
have to be.
If you say what it's about, I think that's okay.
Yeah, so I did the education debate for mine. The closing, specifically the closing of the North American Mind.
Interesting.
We kind of talked about that a lot for 2 podcasts we've already done. So I'm not going to go too much into it, but it's kind of like the failure of the school system. How it's teaching us how to be more ignorant and just following orders than to be creative thinkers. I believe my thesis was along the lines of we are taught to be, we live in a generation where we are taught to be like ignorant shepherds. Something along those lines. I don't remember specifically, it's been a while. But if I find it.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it.
Mine was pretty similar with the idea that, running off the word ignorance is bliss. How we're always, that's a very common line that goes around. We're always told that when we're ignorant, things are always great.
Things are easier.
Easier.
Right.
Yeah. There's nothing to worry about when you're ignorant, right?
It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. I could talk about. So I did the necklace.
Mm-hmm.
It was about that lady where she married, I guess, this like somewhat wealthy but not too wealthy compared to like other people, and she always wanted more. She was never satisfied with what she had, and one day she goes over to her friend's house and she's like, "Oh, I need this necklace. Can I borrow it?" Because like she didn't like what her husband had for her or like what she had originally. She needed like over the top. I need to go to this party, like look the best. Then she loses it. She's like, "Oh shoot, now I gotta pay it back," and like, you know. So she spends all this time trying to get the money, gives it back to the girl. Turns out like she like the one that she had was not the real one. Didn't cost that much, so she spent all her time.
Yeah.
How many years of her life was it?
It was almost her whole life.
Yeah.
A long time.
Yeah.
20 years or something.
I remember when we were being when the story was being read to us, it really I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I really felt like heartbroken.
Unless you were in proposals class and you'd already read it.
Yeah.
I didn't read it yet. I felt her pain.
It was really
I think like the message probably was like, don't be greedy and like be happy with what you have, I guess.
It's a lot of like materialistic stuff.
Yeah.
It's a reminder, I think.
There's a lot of materialistic things that go into that. Just putting everything you have in your appearance and how you look, how you want to be portrayed, right, physically, instead of mentally, emotionally, all these things that matter way more, right?
So she could have valued her relationships.
Yeah,
actually.
She had her priorities really messed up.
Yeah. The husband more than anything for her. He literally did. Entered his back for her.
To her, like all she wanted was, oh, I'm going to a party and look good.
Yeah.
And she did.
Yeah.
And then she didn't.
She grew old and regretted everything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly,
Lived in the life of regret.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
gotta live your life slowly and be happy for what you have.
Yeah. Living in envy cost her the rest of her life, right? Being so envious of people, right?
It's when she lost.
It's never a good thing, right?
Or jealous and envious.
And yeah, she's jealous of the life that she wanted,
Yeah.
and it kind of ruined that jealousy, ruined everything for her.
Harry, what was your photo essay on?
Mine was on a story of war and change.
What was that about?
It was actually really good. It was an amazing story. I actually only read it because my brother, he did it, and I thought he'd be able to help me out with it.
Did he?
It was amazing. It was actually, it ended up being a really, really good story. It's a lot about courage and how, he just felt so he was I don't know, I think he was, might have been some kind of medic or something, but he was supposed to go out there and help one of his comrades. And he went over to his commander and a bunch of others, the soldiers that were with him. And he said, "Oh, come on, we have to go help this guy." And they're just like, "No." He's like, "Oh, that's the front line. Hey, this is my job." It's like, "I'm not supposed to be there. I'm not gonna go help him." And nobody would help, this poor man out. And he had to go out there. And he just looks back on it and he says, like, wow, like, people are so selfish. People like this, right? It's really, tough story to swallow. pretty hard to just know that someone just being in a collective with people, right? Being with a bunch of people and nobody gave a shit. Nobody cared at all, right? You were the only one who cared, right? My photo essay was pretty nice, though. I had some pretty good quotes. I actually threw in my own quote there.
The thesis
They
is
one of my
out of
own.
it.
Really deep, honestly.
Yeah, I don't actually have my exact photo essay on me. I really don't. It's probably on my desktop.
Yes, I'm next.
Yep.
For my photo essay, I did Toni Morrison's The Dead of September 11. Obviously, 9/11. The reason I did was simple. You were all born in 2002, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was born in 2001. I was barely 5 months old when the towers fell. I actually do have my photo essay here. I was barely 5 months old when the attack happened, and I cannot claim to know where I was. You ask any other American, where were you 9/11? They will tell you in an instant. Even some teachers, Mr. Freitas, he said he was in...
Library, I think?
He
Yeah.
ended up going to the library. He first complained to some student for being late.
Yeah, and he's like, have you seen the news? And I think he said, like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? Like,
A quote that I put that was just something at the end of my reflection as to why I did it. Tuesday, September 11th, 2001, changed both the world and my family irreparably, marking that day in darkness. There was another quote I found, because you all know I love quotes. If we learn nothing else from this tragedy, we learn that life is short and there is no time for hate. That was said by Sandy Dahl, the pilot of one of the planes that was hijacked. Wife of... Yeah, pilot, yes. And... what else? Do you want to hear a few more quotes I put in or no?
Of course.
Sure. You usually pick good ones.
We are the dead short days ago. We lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved, and were loved. Now we lie. Obviously John McCrae's in Flanders Field. It's just... the reason I put that was simple. No one had ever considered that such a thing could happen.
Yeah, it changed the whole world,
Yeah.
right? Especially
There
security.
were 2,977 dead, and of them about 20 to 30 Canadians or people with Canadian family. Most of my project, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 actual quote scenes and then the title card. After that, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 pages of just the names, all about 5 columns each with 127 names if I remember. I don't quite remember.
Those are identified people only.
Yeah, which
It was an
that
amazing
is
idea.
Those were the identifiers.
that's extremely important to have, because a lot of people when there's like these huge tragedies, they stop thinking about the dead people as people and just it's just a number.
As the dead.
Right.
Here was one that kind of hurt me. Christine and Michael Egan. They were a husband and wife.
Oh, I hope
There
they
were
didn't have
tons
kids.
of father and sons. It was not good.
Family.
Another quote. I see a line of cars and they're all painted black. With flowers and my love both never to come back, I see people turn their heads and quickly look away. If any of you can tell me where that is from, I will be very impressed.
Jonathan knows.
Okay, Siri.
No, the Rolling Stones, Paint It Black. Great song, listen to it.
outro. Have you guys seen, like, those shows where it's like, for example, Friends? They go on the plane without any security.
Yeah, how
Yeah,
things used
well,
to
that's
be.
how it used to be.
Before 9/11, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's a really
Um,
big eye opener, though. Eh?
Yeah.
It's an amazing eye opener to see like we have this really beautiful architecture that we can create,
Yeah.
and just in a moment how fast it can be taken away, and in a moment how fast everyone is just in shock.
Mhm.
Right, I bet you when they made that building, it's like, oh my god, it's so beautiful. Within a week or
The
two,
two of them.
right? Within a week or two, people probably got over it. But now that they're gone, like, all you can do is think of where they were. Right?
Wait, are they rebuilding or?
They already rebuilt a new trade center, but
Oh, okay.
not at the same site, if I remember.
Yeah.
They have a monument to the site.
Yeah, I would like to visit it one day.
To the New York trip.
I don't have that kind of money. There was one more thing. Right, 9/11 destroyed the world.
Yeah.
One of the
Changed
most,
the world.
no, destroyed it.
changed it, created
this
really weird tensions.
militarized world we have now.
Yeah.
One of the most interesting versions that I've ever seen it. I like comedy shows. We're going to talk about that in another podcast. We'll get to that in a while. But one of the things I love to watch on CBC on Tuesday nights, Johnny Harris is Still Standing. This guy, comedian and actor in one of my favorite TV shows, goes around to the small towns of Canada that are still surviving. One of them is literally right on the border. You take one step, like on some random street which is marked by potted plants, you're in America.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
You pretty much cross that thing, laser dots all over you. But no, some of the older people that he'd interviewed, one of these ladies has apparently been going down the road into America to get her haircut every day of her life. She was on first name basis with the TSA officer. 9/11 happens, new guy from out of town.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you coming into my country? To get a haircut. I don't believe you.
Yep.
Why not? I've been doing it all my life. No one goes to a different country just for a haircut.
Yep.
Yeah, no, like
And that sums up
it's kind of
what
funny
happened.
because
Yeah.
I have a similar experience. Because like I was in Niagara Falls, and then like me and my family were like, oh, why don't we just go to America? Like just
Yeah.
check it out for like a few hours.
Mhm.
Tell them that, they're like, doesn't make sense. No one does that.
Mhm.
It's like, okay.
Yeah.
I have always heard American borders are very, very strict.
Oh, yeah.
Security.
Being an American citizen is so useful then.
Yeah.
I don't need a visa.
It's hard.
I get this term, welcome home, not be good.
Yeah.
I gotta say, my experiences traveling to America and back, I never really had any bad ones.
Me too.
Not gonna lie.
I don't know why.
I've done it quite a bit. It's
Like,
you know, it depends on your scenario.
okay,
Because if you're with family, they're usually a lot like, okay, you know, they see like, you know, a mom and a dad, kids.
Yeah.
whatever.
yeah. White family, yeah.
Yeah. Especially white
Sorry.
family. Not even really.
Sorry, I had
No,
to.
no, they're actually, they're not even funny.
Like it's,
Well, let's say, you know, a group of men, right?
yeah.
6 men in a van.
Yeah, anything remotely
Whoa.
suspicious.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, let's check
They
this out a
switch
little
fast.
bit.
Yeah,
Especially
imagine
for
trying to
the
go
one-way.
camping, like a group of men, and it's like a huge bag in the back.
Oh yeah, they're gonna.
Oh my
pull you over.
god, you're not getting
Whoa.
through. Or we're going fishing. No, you're not. You're doing something else, obviously. It's like, oof.
That's why. It only depends on your scenario. Kind of unreasonable, I'm not gonna
Can I tell you a funny story that happened several years ago?
No.
I went to go visit my sister in North Dakota. Speaking of North Dakota, Fighting Eagles.
No grinding.
No,
Don't blur
no
that out.
sponsorship.
Yeah, blur that out.
But I've flown from Toronto, Pearson over to Edmonton Airport, and then we drove across the border. My sister, I love her to death, but we were tired. It was a midnight flight. I can't sleep on planes. I was tired. We were tired. The end of the whole thing was us trying to stay awake while doing a Disney sing-along. But we get to the border. There's only one open kiosk.
Mhm.
The guy right there, he's looking at there. All right, so you were picking up your brother from the airport. Yes, American citizens. He's fine with us. How will he be going back? I'm going to drive him across the border, back to Edmonton. Then he'll take the flight back to Toronto. She looks, huh? Because that wasn't the plan. We were going to meet our parents after driving to Detroit. Then I would go with my parents. Huh? I just go, what? She looks at me, stares at me for a second, seriously. I just lied to you. She just faces the officer and just says that with a smile and a matter-of-factly voice. You could see the guy. Suddenly his face just drops. He looks down at the passports he still has it in his hand, looks off in the distance, and you could tell what he was thinking. Do I really want to do the paperwork?
Yeah.
It is early in the morning. I'm gonna have to deal with this shit all day. Have a nice trip.
Yeah. Oh my god, all those videos of people just annoying the officers when they go through
never
just
do
to get
that.
through.
Never. Okay. Here is the truth. Never lie. Don't make fun of them. Just tell the truth and you will be treated nicely.
No, the way they do it, they make it very nice. They're very nice
Yeah.
about it. Like, they're like, oh, can I talk about Jesus? I'm a Christian.
Yeah,
I'm
it's not like
raised about
that, yeah,
Christian,"
yeah.
and they go off on that. And they're just like, I feel like it happens to all the time, because one of the times it just goes, I'm like, scroll through.
I've done stuff like that before. It's fun. They get annoyed, but they can't say anything back.
They can't,
No,
but
they
just
can't.
don't piss them off.
If you smile, look innocent, and you're just being genuine about, they
Also,
can't-
don't ever tell them. Well, actually, yes. Always tell them that I just lied to you if you lied to them, because they will be more caring. Especially if you lied to them very seriously. But you tell them yourself, they will forgive you. They will still kick you out of the country.
Do some trauma.
It's also really useful to have an accent sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Having an accent's so funny. I remember I was coming back from Vietnam, and there's a lady, and she asked, "Oh, you have a box?" It's like, "Oh, what's in the box?" And it's just like, and my dad said, "Oh," because like there was like a list of things like you shouldn't bring. It's like seafood and everything. And after that, he said, "What is it?" It's like, "It's squid." Right? And after that, he's like, "Squid?" It's like, "Sweets." And she's like, "Sweets?" And he's like, "Yeah, sweets." Because he knows, like, oh shit, no seafood.
And she
once
let
he-
you through.
Oh shit.
She
That's
didn't
it.
season.
So go ahead.
That lady
A lot
should
of
be
people, I
fired.
don't think they really care.
It's really
as long as
funny.
like, it's not.
Because he said it
it's
really
not like
badly. He
that
was like,
extreme. I guess.
"Sweet?"
Dylan, it is
Yeah.
huge.
It's just like,
If it's prepackaged, like,
Mhm.
you can't even bring JL beef jerky.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the brand name, so we don't have to bleep that out again. You can't bring meats across, period. If
there's a lot of things, man. Untreated wood.
untreated wood, meat.
And people actually bring those things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they don't take it back.
I could tell you more stories, but I really can't because technically I'm not supposed to know these stories.
Oh, I got a good one. Okay, so this is years back. I was younger, maybe 14, 15. Me and my grandmother, just us two, went to Poland for a cousin's wedding. Mom and brother were at home, school, whatever. So it's me and my grandmother. It was a fun time, Anyway, we went, it's cool. Cousins kept joking, "We'll give you some of our vodka to take home. Give you some vodka to take home."
as long as it's
And Grandma laughs. "Yes, I'll take 2 bottles, but I can't take any more. Like, we'll put 4 in my suitcase. Put 4 bottles."
They don't check kids that much. I feel.
Yes, they do. It's
They-
still underage drinking. You're only allowed 2 adults are only allowed to have 2 bottles of vodka per person.
So
Or
Grandma's
alcohol.
like, "Ha, you're so funny, but no, don't do that. We're gonna get in shit. Don't do
Yes.
that." So they're like, "Ha, okay." We slept over at their house that night because it was
And they
close to
slept
the
in with your
airport.
bags?
They gave us this blanket. It was a blanket. Like I don't know if it's in this room, but no, it's a nice, like, genuine fur blanket. We were allowed to bring it over. In there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Wow, that's way beyond the limit.
Then between those, flip the other side, 9, 10, 11. Right?
And the 2 that your grandmother already had?
3.
He had a baker's dozen of...
No. So her suitcase went through. They saw 3 bottles and they honestly didn't care. Okay, sure. Polish Airlines, nice. Then mine's going through, and we call her Chocha. Tells our grandma, "Oh, by the way, just we gave your son, gave you about 11 bottles." Shit. Her eyes wide, like, holy fuck, we're screwed, right? Then me being a kid, I was on my phone, right? I dropped my phone. We put the suitcase on a rolly thing, right? I dropped my phone in between the thing, wedging it. So I go down, bend down to pick my phone up. Security sees me doing something like tampering with equipment, make a whole scene about that. Everyone rushes to me like, "What are you doing, kid? What are you doing?" Suitcase with the vodka in it is going through the X-ray machine, and we could see it. Grandma saw it. She saw the bottles, but everyone else was looking at me. And I'm there, not because they were speaking in Polish. I didn't understand. I'm like, "Huh?" I bent down to pick it up. They're like, "No, don't." So I'm just like, "What's going on?" Everyone's looking at me. There go the 11 bottles to the X-ray machine. They go onto the luggage. Get sent to Canada. We smuggled bottles of vodka here.
No, but like,
Probably shouldn't be admitting that on camera, man. I don't know what the statute of limitations are for smuggling.
I went to Portugal with me and my sister, right? So just me and her. They treat us so different compared to like everyone else because we're kids. I don't know, like even the like we have to like, I guess like, the electronic place where like you.
Oh yeah.
Nothing about declaring anything. I guess because like we're.
Because
Yeah.
your parents declared for you.
Mhm.
You're supposed to.
They didn't put anything for us. Just like go through.
I think it's also with the staff and like the culture of the airport.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Canadian kids, they're like
that was a bunch of stories.
That turned into immigration.
Smuggling across the border. How to do it, guys?
That turned into immigration.
It's the truth, man.
Yeah,
So
shared a
that's
little
it.
bit about ourselves. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. It's been another great Hall podcast,
That was
everybody.
big. Thank you for not calling the cops.
That's been short stories
Hopefully.
Alright,
and
close
stories.